PDP Democratic Party has called on President Bola Tinubu to apologize for suspending Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara during the 6-month emergency rule. The party's deputy national youth leader, Timothy Osadolo, made the demand on Wednesday while reacting to Tinubu's announcement ending the emergency. Osadolo accused the president of overstepping his constitutional powers and undermining Nigeria's democratic framework. He described the suspension as an abuse of authority that eroded the separation of powers and created a troubling precedent for governance in the country. He further criticized Tinubu's speech, likening his tone to that of a headmaster addressing pupils, insisting that the president should show humility by apologizing. According to Osadolo, only by acknowledging the overreach can Tinubu demonstrate respect for Nigeria's democratic institution. Comrade DZ Womit, now you mentioned that this is a family issue, as it were. Now, like I said, PDP has come out to speak, even though the youth leader of the PDP has come out to say that the president ought to apologize for the emergency rule that was instated or that was put in place for 6 months in Rivers State. What is your take on that? You are a member of the PDP, by the way, and you're the spokesman to the PDP National Secretary, Senator Samuel Anyanwu. Now, would you consider this statement a position of your party?
The truth remains that as a PDP person, I definitely will want to agree with the Deputy National Youth Leader that the president should apologize to the nation and for declaring this suspending, the elected officials, both the assembly and the governor in Rivers State, who are PDP members. Now, from the PDP angle, yes, I can support what the Deputy National Public Youth Leader said, but as a Rivers person, I will, to some extent, disagree with him in the sense that we knew the palpable tension in Rivers State before the president declared the state of emergency. And if not with that intervention, today we don't know, what would have happened in the state, the lives that would have been lost, the destruction of property, and name them, that Rivers State would have experienced. So it was a timely intervention by the president. And the other aspect of it, which is the legal aspect of it, there are proponents and those that oppose it, that declaring a state of emergency does not mean you suspend democratic institutions and those that occupy such institutions. So looking at it from that angle, I'll say that yes, it has come and gone, and there are about 40 cases in the courts, both in Abuja, Port Harcourt, and Bayelsa, as the president, stated in his presidential press release. It's very clear that our National Assembly members need to step up their game, because already event has overtaken the cases in the court. But what is needed now is for our National Assembly members to look at that section of the Constitution and make it expressly clear that the president can declare state of emergency without suspending any democratic institution, like suspending the governor or the assembly or the local government chairman or councillors. It should be expressly made clear. They have amended, alter the subsections of the Constitution, so they can go ahead to alter that section, just like they alter section 137. They can alter that section, so there will be no much burden on the judiciary to do this interpretation. It is because there is a lacuna in that. There are areas where the Constitution is silent. That is why you see leaders exploit those lacunas and take decisions that people consider is not in tandem with the Constitution. So at this point, be that event has overtaken it, I would advise that we put pressure on our National Assembly members to amend that section of the Constitution to make sure that it is clear for a sitting president that he doesn't have the power to what is it called? Suspend a governor or an assembly member. That is what I will say to them.
All right, very well. Comrade Womit, let me just ask you a question. If there is no law, can one be accused of breaking a law that does not exist?
Definitely not.
Now, can one say that the president went against the Constitution when you have mentioned in your explanation that there was no law that specifically said that the president can or cannot suspend an elected governor and the State House of Assembly? If there is no law to that effect, can one say that the president broke the law or went against the Constitution? That's on one hand. Now, on the other hand, the state of emergency clearly stated reasons for state of emergency. However, one would say the peculiarity of River State crisis was not covered by Section 305 of the Constitution. It was not covered. So can one say the president also broke the law by, declaring state of emergency in River State over political crisis that was not covered by the Constitution? That is number one. And can one say that the president went against the Constitution when there was no Constitution in the first instance saying that the president can suspend the governor and State House of Assembly or otherwise?
You see, your first question, the president did not. It's not my party man. I'm not holding brief for him, but I want to be as objective as I can, is that the president declaring of state of emergency, it is there in the Constitution that he can declare a state of emergency pending a threat. And, the president gets security briefs from security chiefs. And he has studied it and believed that there was a security threat to, peace in River State. And know that, have it at the back of your mind that River State, if River State sneezes, Nigeria will catch cold. So the president is very careful about that, I believe, and declares state of emergency. People are not talking about that it was wrong for the president to declare state of emergency. What most people are arguing that he doesn't have the powers to suspend democratic institution, that he can declare state of emergency without suspending democratic institutions like the governor, deputy, and the assembly member as he did. So that one is still, arguable. But the fact that the president has the right to declare state of emergency is not, there is no dispute to that. It is there in the Constitution and the president cited it. But the only aspect that people are arguing about is the aspect that he suspended an elected governor, deputy governor, assembly members. And that is why I said, knowing fully well that event has overtaken it, arguing over it because the Supreme Court is there, another court, they filed cases, PDP governors filed at the Supreme Court, it has not been heard, and event has overtaken it, because since event has overtaken it, what would the Supreme Court say? But the thing we can do today is to draw the attention of the Assembly, National Assembly members to that clause for them to amend it, so it will be clear that the president does not have the powers. Just like I said earlier, the Constitution